Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving deep into an origin story that truly changed the world. We're going to trace the life of the Prophet Muhammad, starting from his birth in a really complex time and place, all the way to that history-altering moment, his first revelation.
Our source material kicks off with this really powerful line. It just sets the stage perfectly. And this isn't talking about literal darkness, like night and day. It's about a spiritual darkness, a kind of deep hunger for answers that really defined the entire era. So, to really understand the man, we first have to get a feel for his world. Let's paint a picture of the 6th century Arabian Peninsula.
Okay, so picture this. You've got these two massive, weary giants on either side. To the west, the Byzantine Empire. To the east, the Sassanid Persian Empire. Both of them are just exhausted. They're worn out from constant wars and internal problems. And then, caught right in the middle, you have Arabia. This is a land with no central king, no single rulebook. It was a pretty chaotic place, where the only law that mattered was your loyalty to your tribe. And spiritually, Mecca was just as fragmented. Inside the Kaaba, the ancient sacred sanctuary, there were 360 different idols. Just think about that number for a second. It tells you everything you need to know. It basically means that every tribe, maybe every powerful family, had its own god. It was a deeply divided spiritual landscape. The morality of the time was a study in contrasts. On one hand, you had some really brutal realities, things like infanticide, endless blood feuds that could last for generations, and just deep social inequality. But on the other hand, you had these powerful virtues that were still incredibly strong, a profound sense of hospitality, an almost unbreakable loyalty to your family, and a culture that really prized generosity. It was a world of deep shadows, for sure, but there were also these embers of light, just waiting for a spark.
And it's right into this incredibly complex world that the central figure of our story is born. A man who would become known, first and foremost, not for power or wealth, but for his character.
He was born around 570 CE, into a good clan in Mecca, but his life started with real hardship. His father died before he was even born. Then his mother passed away when he was just a little boy. So raised by his grandfather and then his uncle, he didn't grow up with a lot of money, but he developed something else, a kind of wealth of character that would end up defining his entire life.
He became so respected that people in the community actually gave him a title, Al-Amin. It means the trustworthy. And this is so important. This wasn't a nickname he gave himself. It was a reputation he earned through and through. We're talking long before any prophecy. The people of Mecca, his friends, his family, even his business rivals, they all knew him as a man of just exceptional integrity.
And this reputation wasn't just some abstract idea. You could see it in his everyday actions. In business, he was known for being completely fair. In his conversations, he was calm, he was thoughtful. This character, it earned him the respect of the city's elders, and it led to his marriage to a really remarkable person, a noble, sharp, and successful businesswoman who saw and valued that integrity in him.
So as the years passed, this well-respected man, he began a private inner journey, a search for something deeper, for a meaning that would eventually pull him away from the hustle and bustle of the city and towards the divine. He started seeking out solitude. Every year, during the month of Ramadan, he'd go out to a cave on a mountain called Hira, just outside Mecca. Now, this wasn't about him being antisocial or escaping people. It was about escaping the noise of the world so he could just think, really reflect on things. And up there, in the silence of that cave, he wrestled with the biggest questions you can imagine. He'd look out at the world, at the society he came from, and just wonder, who is behind all of this? Who created all this?
His search got even deeper. It went beyond just who made it, to the very nature of existence itself. He was looking for the answer to that ultimate question that thinkers have chased for thousands of years. What is truth?
And then, one night, deep in that state of contemplation, an answer came. But it wasn't a gentle thought. It was a voice, a command that just pierced the silence of that cave. Read. The sources all say he was absolutely terrified, totally confused by this overwhelming presence. The voice repeated the command, but this time it continued. It gave him the context. It gave him the source.
Read, in the name of your Lord who created. This was a direct, undeniable message. It wasn't just a voice. It was a voice with an author. In that single moment, the transformation was total. The man known as Al-Amin, the trustworthy merchant from Mecca, became something else entirely. His search for truth was over, but a brand new and much more difficult role had just begun. He was now a prophet. And it's crucial to remember, this wasn't by his choice or by a popular vote. It was by divine command.
So, a message was delivered. But let's be real, the story was far from over. In fact, the real challenge was just beginning. How was a world built on 360 idols, on fierce tribal power, on ancient traditions, how was that world going to react to a call for one single, unseen God? That question is where the next chapter begins.